How many of you have heard about the Estonian e-Residency program? Quite a couple. Oh, well, Ott Vatter, their product manager, joins us here tonight in order to share with us how a small country like Estonia turned into a digital superpower. Ott, the floor is yours.
So, hello. My name is Ott. First time here in Romania, How to Web conference as well. My speech will be a bit different in the sense that I will focus on some kind of government issues, how we managed to create a program like that in the government sphere. I actually see quite many resemblances as well between, can you hear me all right? Yeah? Okay. Actually, I see very big resemblances between Romania and Estonia, mainly because of our past history, but as well when I look around this conference, the IT sector, the talent that you have here, I would say that in Estonia we're in a similar situation where we have a lot of IT specialists and a lot of business people who manage to do great things. So I don't understand why don't we have a direct flight connection together with Bucharest, because we definitely should have one. What we're doing with eResidency, we are trying to get more people involved in entrepreneurship. So we are trying to unleash the economic scope, the entrepreneurial potential of each world citizen. So I'm the product manager of eResidency. eResidency is a program around 1 year old, and I will talk more. Just a quick recap of what is Estonia. So if you don't know where we are or what we do, Estonia is there up on the map. Very small country, 1.3 million people. We have euro, that's great. Quite good credit ratings, not much national debt. And in the year 2000 we created a program that enabled us to create digital signature. So we introduced something called the ID card. The ID card in essence is just a certificate, a chip, integrated into a card that allows you to authenticate yourself online. The government uses a system called the X-Road. So here's a graph of what the X-Road looks like. This is something that the Estonian government is based upon, basically. So we couldn't do our things without it. As you can see, I don't know. Yeah, you can see. The population register up from the left, the health insurance register, vehicle register, so all kind of public institutions are connected into this X-road. It's a long road that has other roads connected to it. And on the right corner you can see an ID card. The ID card is meant as a first entry point. So every citizen in Estonia has this kind of card. And with the PIN codes it's possible to log in and enter and make queries into the different databases available. So these are public institutions and private institutions. So also banks, you can make bank transfers there. And you can also, for example, you go to the doctor, you have some kind of survey, you go home, you put your ID card into your computer and you can actually check your results. So what was the result of your scan, or if you go to the pharmacy, the pharmacist has a subscription, prescription on your ID card. So when you give it to the pharmacist, he puts it into the ID card reader and he knows exactly what kind of drugs he or she should give you. So this is the backbone of what we are doing, and we have done this since the early 2000s. We actually stole this idea from the Finns. And what they didn't do is they didn't make the ID card obligatory. So now what we did in 2001, we said that everyone must have an ID card. Here you can see queries that go into the X-Road, into the database. So when the ID card system started in 2000 years, then people didn't use it much. People were very condescending. And now when the time grew, time flew, we use it every day. And what I'm here today is to introduce the program that evolved from our ID card system. So one day we understood that with a population of 1.3 million, we have to do something to get more people involved in Estonia, to get more economic growth in Estonia, and what are we good at? So we're quite good at IT, we're quite good at the infrastructure. We have an e-government, we do e-voting, and we decided to open that platform up to everyone. So this is basically what the e-Residency card is meant for. You can apply. Every one of you can apply online, and what the Republic of Estonia is offering you is a secure digital identity. So with this card you can identify yourself online. So the Estonian government says that you are who you claim to be behind your computer. You can access Estonian e-services. So for example, when you go to the doctor in Estonia, you can actually check your medical history later. And you can sign documents. So digital signing is a really big thing now. Starting from 2016, all European Union member states have to acknowledge digital signature as being equivalent to a physical signature. And it makes really, really big sense because when you sign documents on paper and you send them somewhere, for example, Tokyo, it takes 2 weeks for the papers to get there. The other party sends them back to you, again 2 weeks. It's a month's time just wasted. With the e-Residency card, the digital signing will take 30 seconds and then sending of the email. Very important to confer that you can't really get citizenship with this card. So we have had some people contact us that if you apply for e-Residency, does that give you a citizenship? Can you move to Estonia? Yes, you can move to Estonia, but you also have to apply for a real residentship. You can't travel with this card as it doesn't have a photo on it. And yeah, you can't vote in Estonia with this card because you're not a citizen. But you can access all other services. So a quick timeline of how this happened, because it's very important to understand that it's a governmental startup. So it's two things that don't go together usually. The idea started in September last year. There was a contest to have one great idea to develop the economic space of Estonia. So this was the winner. 1st of October, we made a launch page for this. 4,000 subscribers in 24 hours. Then we really understood that we're onto something. 1st of November, we took this to the parliament, and the parliament unanimously voted that we can give out e-Residency cards. To be honest, I don't think that the parliament members really understood what they were voting for, most of them at least. But they did it, so that's really good. 1st of December, we gave out the first e-resident card. So that was Edward Lucas, a journalist from the United Kingdom. Mid-December, the Prime Minister and the business delegation went to the United States to promote e-Estonia in general. And I remember that we were driving with Uber, and the taxi driver asked us, where are we from? And I said, we're from Estonia. And the taxi driver said, okay, you're from Estonia, you are revolutionizing democracy and you're changing you're creating a country without borders. And we thought at that time that we were creating a digital authentication card that we were giving out to people. But apparently the US media picked this up as revolutionizing the modern word of democracy. So that was really great because the Prime Minister from there got very good encouragement to follow the program. And he's a really young tech-savvy guy, so he took this as one of his main points. And then we got a team. 1st of January, the government decided that we need a team, and this is something that we should go forward with. 1st of April, the team started, and 13th of May, our first milestone was to open up an application platform to apply for e-Residency online and to open up a possibility to send the documents to 38 embassies all around the world. So you could receive your ID card from all around the world. yeah, created the website with 1 month. That was pretty intense because not many, you have to understand that it goes together with different government organizations. So there's the police who actually gives out the card, there's the foreign ministry who actually sends the card out to the foreign representation points, and we as a team, we had to coordinate it. So me personally, coming from a private sector, it was very difficult to orientate in the sphere of public ministries, and to get something done in 1 month, it was an incredible feeling, I guess, for the public sector in Estonia as well. And in the 17th of July, the cabinet accepted the package for us to continue working for 3 years, and we are actually now changing the legislation in Estonia. So it's a good example how a small startup idea could actually revolutionize something in a country. A quick recap: we started in September, went to the parliament November, first ever e-resident in December, and the beta. We're communicating openly that we're in a beta phase since last May. So currently we have around 7,000 applications, around 6,500 e-residents all over the world. Newsletters subscribed, around 25,000 already. And 8% are from Asia. So we see Asia or countries outside the EU as a very big target market. So this is very important, that the main pain point is for someone who would like to have a legal body in the European Union framework but can't have it. So who are we doing this program for? Number one, virtual business environment. So I'm sure most of you have companies, you're active in the IT sphere, so you know how nice it would be that you could maintain your company from anywhere in the world just using your computer. You wouldn't have to have any flying to somewhere, paying some notary fees, having some huge document piles to sign, and a lot of bureaucracy. So what we are enabling is, with the e-Residency card, you can actually create the company in Estonia and maintain it from your computer. Second, investments from Estonia. So existing Estonian businesses that have interest here, or neighboring countries, Finland, Russia. Third is very interesting. It's an open digital identity platform, so that we hope in the future to have e-Residency as a platform like Google Play or the Apple platform. Community of e-residents, so around 35%, 20% of people have said openly that they are interested in e-Residency just as being cool, or being early adopters with it, just because they want to be a part of something more than just their own country. Part of revolution, as the States guy said. And visitors of Estonia, so these are people who are staying in Estonia for a longer period of time. It just makes their life more comfortable, because you can put loyalty cards on it, you can put bus tickets on them, on the card, you can go to the doctor, as I said, so a lot of personal reasons. So this is a case study that we actually focused our MVP on. So Stanislav from Ukraine, he has a very big problem that he's not trusted in the European Union framework. He doesn't have access to electronic payment service providers, so he can make an account on PayPal, but he can't withdraw the money because PayPal hasn't done KYC with Ukraine or with Stanislav's company, and his money is on the PayPal account. Also, a lot of bureaucracy in Ukraine when creating a legal entity, unstable political climate, and impractical alternatives. So we're not offering anything new. You can create the same kind of company in London, in Switzerland, in Singapore, but you just have to pay shitloads of money for it. So what we offer Stanislav is a legal registration, so a body in Estonia, a bank account, a payment provider that trusts him and he can now withdraw money, and the possibility to sign digitally. So here you can see the main value proposition. And I actually Skyped with Stanislav myself, and he was on the verge of crying on Skype when he understood that he can actually start selling his paintings. So Stanislav is an IT entrepreneur, but he also paints, and he wanted to sell his paintings online, and he couldn't do so before. How to become an e-resident? It's very simple. We opened up the online application platform, You open up your photo. You have to have one profile photo and one photo of your passport, and you upload it through the application platform. And it will take about 1 month to 2 months, depending on where you're located. And you can get basically around the world. You can receive the card in the Estonian embassies. From May, yes, last year. So here you can see the locations. We're not absolutely everywhere yet, but we're trying to make a collaboration with the visa centers, so to get to scale. So at one point we asked why people want to be e-residents. We understood that 60 of them want to be e-residents for business reasons, and the other usually for personal reasons or because it's very cool. To create a startup, to base my company in Estonia, to bring my company here, to make an affiliate, because I'm a fan, I like Estonia, I want to be an early adopter, or I see future possibilities. So right now there are some negotiations with some blockchain technologies who want to use e-Residency as a platform as well. So some statistics from SIFE, a tool that we use with our team to monitor what's going on. You can see up in the left the weekly growth of e-residents, where it started. On the right up, you can see at some point when you opened up the online platform, so the Estonian police completely collapsed because we had so many applications, and they couldn't process them all because it goes through all international money laundering databases, Interpol, Europol databases. So it's a big system. Our goal for this year was 2,000. We had to change it 2 times. Then we changed it to 5,000, and now we changed it to 10,000. So there has been massive interest, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. This is very important to acknowledge, that the left, the blue chart, because we have to have an interest as a country why we're doing this. So we want to have economic growth for Estonia, and currently e-residents have replied with over 200 new companies in Estonia. So that means 200 actual companies, let's say around 100 of them have actual economic growth to and influence to the Estonian economy, and around 550 companies that are engaged with e-residents. So people who had economic interest before, but they made themselves e-residents because they can administer their company online. So the conversion rate right now on our website is 7.4. In the beginning, it was 3%. Here you can see, I wanted to put in a slide about our media coverage as well, because we haven't spent any money on marketing. And usually when I have the presentation or I ask people what do they know about e-residency, so people have usually heard about it. And it's big thanks to the US media, the UK media, who have really picked it up, and they're making a story out of it, how we're revolutionizing the world, which is great in essence. Plans for the future. So our long-term aim is actually 10 million e-residents. So by 2025, we want to have 10 million, and we don't see it as being a big problem, because there are many, many people in the world who have this pain point that they can't do business in their own home country, or they want to have an EU body somewhere, or they just want to administer their company online. We're also in the phase of adding new services, so we're partnershiping with big service providers, payment service providers, for example, to get e-residency really going, and we'll see where it goes. Here's the website, check it out. You can apply for e-residency. It's only 50 euros state fee. A little secret that from next year, February, it will be 100 euros, because right now the Estonian government is paying on the applications, and they're hiring new people to assess the processing part and stuff. Subscribe to our newsletter. If you have any ideas, partnership, collaboration ideas, you can always write to us, contact us. The first e-resident, Edward Lucas, so that's great. Thank you for listening, and apply for e-residency.
Any questions?
There's always questions.
So great, I saw the form that you have to complete online and all the huge list of embassies where you pick up your card. When will this be available in Bucharest? Is there a plan for that?
The plan is actually collaboration with visa centers. So the problem in Bucharest and some other countries is that we don't have an official consulate here that would be responsible for giving out the e-residency card. So as it is an official document, it is very important that this face-to-face meeting is done by a trustworthy consular worker, because it's her or his responsibility to understand that you are who you claim to be. But right now we're in negotiation with visa centers. So these are private companies in the world who issue visas in collaboration with governments. But the problem here now, why we haven't done it so far, is because the Estonian police is not sure that the visa center is the most trustworthy organization to do that face-to-face check. No timeline currently, but personally I'm hoping that within half a year, in a year, because we can't scale to 10 million otherwise. We have to find a way.
Some other questions over there?
From my understanding, if you want to open a bank account, I'm sorry, I'm here.
Okay, you're the light guy.
Sorry, I'm static here. So, if you want to open a bank account, you still need to visit Estonia. And I understood that there is a need to pass a new law and for banks to be willing to, so it's not mandatory for the banks to accept you.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the latest news on that?
You are very well aware of the situation, and it's good. I didn't want to go into that much detail because it's complicated, but currently you have to come to Estonia to open up a bank account. But as I told before, that we will actually change the law in Estonia, so we're in the process. The first part of the law was changed, and now it will take half a year that you can actually open up a bank account via Skype or some kind of other video software. And it will be possible, but we can't force the bank always to give you a bank account because they're still a private company and they have a disclaimer that they can choose their own customers.
So the time frame, can you estimate?
For the law to be changed?
Yes.
6 months up to a year.
And I'm also a software developer, so I am interested in the possibility, could you use e-residency for a login on a site, and what would be the privacy implications and so on? Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a startup who is working with us on that called EID. I can give you the link afterwards when we can talk. You can get more detailed info, but you can use e-residency login button as an API, and you can log in using e-residency to any site, so you can integrate it. And it's great. It's really safe.
One more question. Over here.
I could ask you from the neighboring country of Latvia. What if... louder.
I'm going to repeat the question in the microphone.
I can't even hear. What if there's another country willing to do e-residency? Let it be Germany, or let it be Latvia or someone else. Do you think there could be some collaboration in terms of like unified framework or something like this?
Very good question.
What if another country, to repeat the question, what if another country such as Germany or Latvia is willing to do e-residency? Is there any collaboration?
I can already say that there are a few countries who are doing a similar program. Lithuania, Holland, Singapore. They have openly said that they're following the same pattern. And I believe that there is definitely collaboration, because with there's a European Union directive for an idea to have the digital single European market. And basically right now you could enter the Estonian business registry with a Lithuanian ID card, with a Belgian ID card, with a Portuguese ID card. So the systems, basically the infrastructure is in base, and if this other countries will follow, which I think most of the countries will follow at some point, because they will understand that it's the future, and then we could have a whole unified digital database that you could access through. And the eIDAS Act, actually, that will be enforced in 2018, it also says that the ID card authentication method has to be acknowledged by all European Union member states. So you have to get into their database with your ID card as well.
Okay, unfortunately we're running out of time, but Ott is going to be over here in case you want to discuss with him and ask your questions directly. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.